Please fasten your seatbelts.
When did color begin to determine the purpose of one's life? Was it 1619, the dissipation of the Ice Age, the formation of the Indian caste? Or was it when God said, "Let us create mankind in our image and likeness"? When did color begin to determine the status of quo? I want to know why less color, no color equals power, authority, most importantly, favor. More color, all color equals poverty, slavery, no favor. Policies, propaganda, affirmative action, who, what, where, why, how. Black, white, red, green, yellow. Exactly. When did color begin to determine the purpose of one's life? They tell me to just be. Don't worry about color. There's no need to be the black voice. Just be. But in reality, people will see my color before they even meet me. They may even see my voice. Yes, they may even see my voice before they meet me. Assuming they know what's inside, I'll have to defend a false prophecy their minds have previously trained them to see. Forgetting what they see is just a uniform of something more holy. Holy with a W, not an H. The alteration of language is the first misconception one must erase. In writing this poem, I don't mean to be crude or bring about more blues. I'm just extending one truth from another color to another on the human of hues. See, I understand poems like this don't get the best reviews, but I also understand the revolution won't be televised, so I guess you can say it's my duty to bring the news from an insider's point of view. Look into the streets of urban communities, the images on TV, and tell me why I don't need to be the black voice of black babies lost in transition. And I'll ask you again, when did color begin to determine the purpose of one's life? And if art imitates life, why are we pretending that life is something it isn't? Black minds are constantly thought to think neutral, but there's a problem when they can't even learn due to an overcrowdedness of pupils. Lying only to themselves, I'm still waiting for the day when armed state employees don't use excessive force to communicate with me. Parts of a whole, even when it happens indirectly, it still affects the entire race of humanity. Dumbing down entertainment just to get us to listen. How many folks know that blacks are the #1 consumers of self-mutilation products? Mutilating self, we are now mere products developed to be roboticized. Do as I say, not as I do. I'm still waiting for the day when Martin's dream will really come true. Tubman said, I freed 1,000 slaves, and I would have freed 1,000 more if only they knew they were slaves. So exactly when did color begin to determine the purpose of one's life? A lie will travel the world faster than a truth getting ready to put on her shoes. And I'm tired of defending something I literally did not choose. I was born this way, in this frame, with this voice, with these looks. So tell me, when did color begin to determine the purpose of my life?
Hello, welcome to Soul of the City. I'm your host, Bernadette Barnes. I am here with the great poet, Gloria J. Grace. I had the pleasure of meeting her at a showcase event, and she performed and she blew my mind. I was like, you know what? I have to have you on my show. And now she's here, Gloria Grace. Welcome to Soul of the City. Tell us about you. Who is Gloria Grace?
Who is Gloria J. Grace?
All right now.
Who am I? As of right now, on the journey that I'm on right now, I'm currently a poet,
Okay.
a scholar, and a young adult speaker.
Okay.
That simply means I write poetry, I go to school, and I speak to young adults.
Okay, so you're an entrepreneur. That's right. All right, businesswoman. Absolutely.
Yes, that's what I do, and I love it. I love every minute of it. It's not the best all the time, but there are always points of encouragement, reminding you of, why you're doing what you're doing.
Okay. So when did you start writing? Like when you were little, or you just started 2 years ago? When did you start writing poetry?
Well, I've been writing maybe since I learned how to write.
Okay. Cool.
Like
cool.
literally, like apparently, like they tell stories, like of course you're doing this now. Like you've always been a storyteller, you've always written really well.
Okay.
Whether it was like, in the physical format, just on the way I drew my words, or even the stories that I told from a young child, and just always been writing.
So this is your calling. This is your God-given talent. Basically, God has called you to be a poet. Basically, is that how you feel, or?
I think so. I feel like that now. I didn't always feel like that.
I think that's a struggle for most artists. We shy away from what God is really, just like Moses in the Bible. That was his purpose, to lead the Israelites out, but he didn't know it up until the end. So I feel like as artists, as anything, sometimes you have to go through the storm to get back to where you are.
You do, and most importantly, you have to listen to that inner voice, that's speaking within you. You sometimes don't know. You know what I mean? Like when I first initially went away to undergrad, there was a voice that told me study philosophy.
All right.
Okay. And I never did anything in philosophy or, it was like, this is the major. And it was just that voice. So I began speaking to it, to different people, but I was very discouraged from it because they never saw me, as a scholar of that particular field, So I said, okay, maybe you're right. They're like, no, I like your energy. You're more of a host. You need to do something in radio and film or something along the lines. But, come to find out now, that's not what God was calling me to do.
Absolutely. You can't allow people to put you in a box or tell you where you need to go, what you need to do. So that's a good thing. So you're out of the box. Gloria J. Grace is out of the box. You're not in a bubble.
I would say so. No, I'm definitely not in a box. I would even say that I'm not even in a bubble. Like the minute you attempt to put lines or draw a line around me or want to put a label on me, you will get lost in the sauce.
Okay.
You know what I mean? Because I will probably be somebody different to you every single time you see me.
Okay.
Not on purpose, but just because it all depends on the way I'm feeling at the time, like the spirit within me that's like, okay, I want you to wear like this. I want you to do your raps like this. I want you to dress like this. You know what I mean? And it's kind of like, oh, these are your friends. Or I want you to, go speak to this person.
Okay.
And it's like, oh.
So where are you performing next? Where can we find you?
Next, where am I performing next? Oh man, as far as my next poetic performance, that isn't listed as of yet. I did have a performance at the Oldfield School in Baltimore, Maryland, Glencoe, Maryland to be exact. B-More, yeah. I performed there last Friday, so I'm kind of an open book right now.
Okay.
We'll see whatever God awards to me.
And tell us your website and your email address. Where can we book you, find you? Tell us more about that.
Okay, well, my website is www.growing, Gloria, GROWGLORIA.com. And my email address is share@growgloria.com.
Okay.
And the theme is Growing with Gloria.
Please fasten your seatbelts.